Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to our show, Level It Up. I'm your host, Everton, with my co-host, Pam. We're happy to have you. Welcome, stay in tune, be engaged. Tonight, we have an awesome show for you don't want to miss. We are here, Divine Connection. You will hear more about the story. Our guest today is none other than Mr. Oliver Levy. Sir, it's a pleasure to meet you. Your story, how we met, is amazing. Can you talk about yourself and what you do?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's a great platform, and I appreciate it. It's a long story, but I'm going to make it really short. What was the question again? How did I get here?
How did you get here on the show today? Because it wasn't the divine connection. We're not supposed to be here tonight because my guest canceled last minute, and then you showed up.
Correct. So, first of all, it's the second time I'm seeing you today. The first time was at YMCA gym, and it's the first time I've been there since 2.5 years because I wanted a spot for where my kids can go in the morning. We want to create a routine 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 to about 7 o'clock, routine before school starts. So I said, you know what, let me just head to this gym to see what they have and stuff like that, and that was the first time. I went there, and then, I saw you, and we connected. Obviously, you initiate that connection. We connected, and I also told you that it wasn't coincidence. Because, nothing is coincidence for me. Like, you are what you do, and when you prepare, and I always tell this to my children as well, when you're born ready, you don't have to get ready. So I was already ready for that situation. I was already ready to be
moment.
here. Correct.
Absolutely.
Right. So,
Oliver, tell us something. So when I met you, you said that you are a parenting coach. Can you tell us what that is? What it means to be a parenting coach? I've never heard that one before.
And I love the look on your face when you're like, what? I'm like, yes, I'm a parenting coach, and I've been doing this for over 10 years.
10 years.
Yes. So what, in essence, what that is I just inspire parents and give parents simple practical tools to raise children without yelling, without getting frustrated.
Without yelling?
Correct.
So even me, Jamaican blood, Caribbean blood, and all I see around me is model homes of parents yelling at their kids.
Correct.
You're saying that there's hope for me?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm also from Jamaica, Caribbean home, born and raised on the countryside, and I used to yell all the time. That's what we do. But there's a way to do it, and the most important thing is, it's obviously if you're not yelling, you have to have other tools, because yelling is a tool. What tools you're going to use so this way your child is doing what they need to do without you have to get involved. So that's in essence what I do. There's so many to that, but that's the real essence in what I do, how I inspire parents.
Relationship.
Correct.
Pam,
Correct.
Any questions for Oliver?
Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome all our viewers today. Thank you for being with us. We're so happy and excited that you can join us and spend your evening with us. And so excited for this conversation as a parent myself. I do have a nickname of the yelling monster at home, so perhaps we could change that. I try to reframe it as I'm using my loud voice because I'm not being heard, but I guess it is yelling. What made you get into being a parenting coach, and how is that different from, say, life coach?
Ooh. So how I got into it, I'm going to make it really short because it's a long story. Obviously, I'm going to paint a picture for you in terms of born and raised in Jamaica on a farm. And personally, from my perspective, there's a fine line between child abuse and punishment, right? That's why I look at it. So that's why I was raised. And when I came here when I was 17, going on 18. And then by the time I was 20, my first child was born.
Wow.
So right now he's 30,
wow.
32, married. But when he was about 3, 4, I find myself very physically abusive, emotional abusive, yelling all the time, constantly. And it was a point where the mother at that time I was dating, she gave me an ultimatum.
Wow.
right? And for me, I'm like, no, you Canadians, because she was born here, but she has a Jamaican background as well. And I said, no, you Canadians are soft. You need to do this with your child, and
That's
you know,
me.
you need to yell at your child. That's how you need to raise your child. Canadians are soft, and that didn't go well. So by the time he was 7, we separated, and it was devastating for me because my thing is, when you're smaller, when you're younger, you always envision what you want your child to be. And
Yeah.
me raising my children without a mother around, that's not something that I wanted. So it was devastating for me. So it was really tough, and I, separated. And guess what? My wife now, and I've been married we just celebrated our 18th anniversary 2 days ago.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. When my second son was about 4, I find myself doing the same thing, exact same thing. And then my wife gave me an ultimatum. That's when I got a woke-up call, and I said to myself, something got to give. I'm the common denominator here. What do I need to do? So when you talk about energy, when you talk about coincidence, in my mind, I always want to be the best dad. And I know all dads want that.
Yeah.
But I truly believe I could be the best dad. And because I love psychology, I got into that, and I start attracting certain people around me. One lady that I used to work with, she gave me a book. She asked me, do you spank your kids? I'm like, hell yeah, of course. And she goes, you need to read this book. And I start reading and reading and reading. So long story short, when my kids were like 5, and my daughter was 2, and my son was 5, something started to shift because I started using certain tools, certain strategies, certain techniques to get them to listen, get them to, early in the morning, how do they wake them up in the morning, the fighting in the bathroom, the fighting on the dinner table, how do I get that? And there's a point where my wife, divide and conquer, she'll be upstairs getting them organized. I'll be downstairs doing all the, making lunch, making breakfast and all that stuff, and they'll be fighting upstairs. And I start using strategies, and I said, can we switch? You go downstairs and I go upstairs, and now upstairs is nice and calm and relaxed. Downstairs is fighting. This is my cup, this is my space, this is this always fighting. And give me a second. So I want to finish my train of thought. And then when I start teaching my wife and I start showing certain things, my wife is like, something is happening here. Right? And that's where the breakthrough came in.
Awareness.
That's the awareness. And I didn't know I was going to do that. I just want to be the best dad.
Yeah.
And then that translates into, I do a lot of work in the community, in the community center, and I run camps and stuff like that. And I use these tools, and I bring parents in and say, you should try these tools. That's just me. I'm a coach by heart. So with my kids, I'm always going to teach you something that I know, if I know you. Yeah. So that kind of translate. And a few parents came together and said, you know what? Basketball and sports is not your thing. What you're telling us, because we're seeing a difference, you need to do something different.
No, I'm learning so much from this conversation. Even listening to you, you mentioned some things, and you said the word tools. And I'm reflecting on myself as a father. And I'm trying to figure out what tools am I drawing from in my toolkit to govern my kid. And most of the tools I'm using are tools that I saw that my parents used. And those were effective tools. So my model home that I have as a example is something that doesn't work with the kids in today's generation. So I'm taking tools. So you said something important, that you had to look in the mirror and say that you were the common denominator. That is a tough thing to do, because I had a very heart-to-heart talk with my son. I trained my son for basketball as a parent. As a parent, you want the best for your son. And I'm pushing him so hard. And one day he said to me at the court, Dad, you don't listen to me. And I stopped. I'm like, I'm the parent. What do you mean I don't listen to you? You should listen to me. And he said, no, Dad, you're always talking, but you don't listen. And I don't have a voice. And we stopped playing basketball training for 1 hour, and we talked for 1 hour.
Wow.
And when we're done, he said to me, Dad, I feel better. This was so needed. And I felt like, oh my God, it took one conversation
It's a blessing.
because I was pushing him so
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
And I'm telling him what to do, where to be, where to go. He's 15 years old, turning 16, trying to figure out where he needs to fit in life.
Correct.
And I'm here forcing him to these boxes that I think he should go into.
Correct.
He's saying, but I don't want to fit in that box anymore. And as a parent coming from a West Indian culture, we are taught, I speak and you listen. How do you address parents who are saying that, you're talking about tools, can you give some tools that we can use, different tools?
Sure. So first thing first, and this is the beauty of what I do, especially in our culture, where I don't tell parents what to do. I give them insights. For example, when I hear you talking, the insights of, kids, parents nowadays, or adults nowadays, or kids nowadays, kids, it's not kids. They're the same kids, it's us.
Yes.
It's us
Yeah.
that, obviously, if they were living on a farm, they wouldn't be raised that way. So what changed? We changed the way we deal with them. Obviously, we can't obviously spank them, but there's other tools. So tools, when it comes to tools, we have to understand why kids do what they do first. So before I give parents tools, I break things down. So they have aha moments. So they, for themselves, I don't force them. They'll use the tools because they're like, oh, this makes sense. So let's kind of talk about this for a bit. So I want to get you guys to understand. So first of all, we must understand why kids do what they do, why they misbehave, why they don't listen, anything at all. Why? There's two reasons.
Attention.
Whoo, a big one. What's the other one? It's the other one that people miss. Their own autonomy. Power.
Yeah.
I call it power.
They-
You see right there where your son said, you listen. Can you imagine if he didn't have that talk? Can you imagine if that talk came 3 years later? It would be a wrap. Because if you put a newborn baby on the change table and you hold him down, after 7 seconds they start squirming around. Everyone in this world, they need their own autonomy. Obviously, under the guidelines and the rules and around your home,
Yes.
but they need their own autonomy. They need
Yes.
their own voice.
Yes.
They need to have a say. So right now, with my family, my son, my younger son is 17, and my daughter is 14. There's not one. If we're gonna change any rules in the home, I would never change it unless I sit down with them and talk to them about it. It's not happening. Anything at all, they have to get involved. Why? Because when they're involved, they're more prone to do what they need to do.
Yeah.
So that first thing parents must understand is any misbehavior. It could be outside of the home. It could be at church. Any misbehavior comes from those two things. So what I usually do, the first thing I teach parents is how to give them the positive attention and positive power, because they get attention and power every day.
Yes.
They do. It's just that in a negative way. So when they get you to yell, it's good for them. But obviously, they can't articulate it. So the mind, the child's mind, they want attention. It doesn't matter if positive or negative. They want it. So if they get it in a negative way, it's good for them. Obviously, it's not good for the relationship, but they get a kick out of it. Especially when you're like aggressive dad, and they get under your skin, they're like, yes, yes. They're loving that because now they get you to react,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they can't articulate it. Especially when they get older, like our sons. Oh yeah. And then we think it's revenge. It's not. It's their function. It's how they function.
Yes.
This is amazing. I wish we have met years ago, because there's so much tools and nuggets I am taking from this. Because being a parent, being a father, raising a son have its own challenges, right? And he's trying to find his own self, and I'm trying to impose myself on him. How do you, and Pam will jump in after as well, how do you get your kids to not back talk as a parent? Because in my culture, where we're growing up, if I say something if my mom said something and I repeat, I'm getting hit, boxed, I'm getting kicked, I'm getting everything. I'm being honest with you. That's what it was. Now these kids, my kids challenge me, and they want me to get into an argument with them or a conversation. And I'm like, why am I arguing with my 15-year-old son?
But it's not just your culture. Do you remember, like most cultures, I'm East Indian, Punjabi,
Yeah.
and we just got a look. Like in my generation,
Same here.
you got a look from across the room, and that look meant that's it.
Yes.
You're not gonna get a shot, you're not gonna get a scolding, you're not gonna get talked to, but the wrath is coming down on you because you didn't listen. And that got put you in place. And we don't do that. We can't do that anymore.
Correct.
And on that attention note, I totally agree with you because we're now attention-seeking society, right? Our social media teaches us to get attention. However we can, most viral video we can post. And I'm sorry, but like mostly those TikTok things that the kids are watching, I'm just baffled. Half the time I'm to my own son.
I agree.
What are you watching? Why is that even funny? What are you learning from it? Why are you wasting your time, your energy, making them money on some, pardon my word, stupid situation that they're putting on? They're earning money from you.
Attention, though.
Right?
Correct.
Attention.
Attention.
Exactly, attention. So, yeah, so how do we navigate that? And how do you navigate screen time with kids?
Ooh, that's some loaded
Yeah,
question.
it is a
right
big
there.
loaded one.
Yes, that's some loaded question. And if you notice, the way I approach things, I like to break things down.
Yes.
So let's go back to how we were raised.
Yeah.
I can, relate to
very
both
similar.
of you guys. Very, very
Yeah.
similar. And the question I must ask you guys, we learn a lot of things. Resiliency, toughness,
We
did.
responsibility.
Yes.
Accountability.
At what cost?
At a young age.
Yeah.
At what cost, though? At what cost? Like I said before, the way I was raised, there's a fine line between child abuse and punishment. Nothing, I'm not saying anything wrong with my parents or they dealt with it because they had to do what they had to do with the tools and the strategies they had.
That's
But that's how they learn.
That's what they
right?
learn.
So
Yeah.
it's a generational
Correct.
thing. We learn
Correct.
from our parents.
Yes.
And then it
So-
takes somebody to stop that generational.
break
Like
the cycle.
you brought awareness to it, and then you
Correct.
decided, hey,
For me to
I'm
be
going to change.
Correct. For me to be here right now as we speak, I had to uncover a lot of trauma, a lot of layers,
yes.
lots.
Yes.
I didn't know my dad until I was 16.
Yeah.
So when it comes to my relationship with my girlfriends or my wife now, it was a lot. I didn't know what love was. I didn't know to, I buy her flowers, but I didn't feel anything.
I hear you. I feel you.
So that in itself was trauma. And my mom or my dad never say, I love you.
No.
Never.
I agree.
No,
Same here.
not in my culture.
And if we don't say we love our kids daily, it's traumatizing. I hope we understand that. It's traumatizing because they need that. So that's first thing first. So yes, we can reminisce on how we were raised and all that stuff, but at what cost? A lot of us are people pleasers. Why is that? A lot of us in the workplaces,
Big time
especially
people.
certain culture, you don't have a voice or you don't think you have a voice. Why is that? A lot of us struggle. Why is that? A lot of us have great ideas, but it's not coming to fruition. It's not coming alive because the moment I said, hey, Pam, you're my friend. How about this idea? And you said, I don't like it. Boom, right away, I don't go along with it. Why is that? So it's a little bit deeper. Yes, we learn a lot of things.
There's layers.
There's layers. I'm grateful for my parents and my mom.
100%.
100%. But I had to uncover a few things those training came with. It's like a slide effect.
Yeah. I think because we want to be liked.
That's the
Correct.
thing.
Just want to be
Correct.
loved and liked.
Correct.
And we don't want to rock the boat with anyone. And you find that any opposition might do that.
Yes.
If I don't agree with you and if I don't like what you like. By the way, I love those glasses. I'm so sorry. The
I'm saying the same
fashionista,
thing.
the
I'm hearing the
fashionista
glasses,
in
I'm
me
like,
is just
I
killing
didn't
me.
hear the
Like,
glasses.
You didn't see these glasses this morning.
No, I
You saw different glasses.
I'm looking, I'm like, this is what I saw this morning. So I'm like,
You
this
should
is
see the one I saw I wore this
because
morning.
I'm such a fashionista, so I like noticed
he
that
is
first
so
thing.
intentional. His glasses this
Correct.
morning had there's two different sizes.
Yeah,
I'm like,
okay.
Different shape.
Shape.
One
yes,
square,
yes,
one
yes.
round.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
I'm like, he's intentional because when you see his glasses, you have to see him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this man is intentional. I love it.
You know what I love about it? Because I find that when we wear glasses, and I did a whole eyesight course and an eyesight journey about healing eyes, and a lot of people there, they would make you journal about glasses, and people felt that it kept them from being seen. Because
Correct.
there's this
There's a little
blockage or something in front of them, and
Where's
it
that
keeps
coming
them.
from?
I'm sure some form
Right.
of trauma.
Where's that coming
However, the point I wanted to make was when you wear fancy, flashy, or unique glasses, you are definitely saying, I am here.
100%.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Intentional.
Intentional.
And to be honest with you, in all my years in high school and college, I didn't speak.
You didn't speak, yeah.
Did not.
We can talk about that
Because
I
I didn't-
told you my story.
I didn't gone through that personal development, peeling back those layers.
Yeah.
The moment I did that, I found myself. And this is who I am. I want to change the world. My intention is to change the world to impact 10 million parents.
Yeah.
How am I going to do that if my voice is taken away?
Yeah.
Right? So it's a lot of just intergenerational trauma we have to really peel back. So sorry I went there, but to answer your question real quick.
It's such an important thing to talk about. So never apologize. We all are dealing with something, facing something, or not facing something.
Correct.
Right?
So now the question of back talking, screen time.
Yeah.
When your child back talk to you,
Yeah.
the reason why, because you back talk to them. When they came from the hospital, the
I'm a
first day when
parent.
they
I'm allowed to do that. I'm the parent.
You're allowed to speak, but not back talk.
Oh, 'cause it's a
It's
difference.
how It's
Okay.
how we speak to them, or speak with them.
Okay.
So can you imagine? Do you think your son, when they came from the hospital the first day they were born, they think, when I was 16 or when I was 14, when I become 14 or 16, I'm going to talk back to my parents. I'm going
course
I'm going
not.
to slam the door. My daughter didn't say, I'm going to slam the door. I'm going to run upstairs. I don't like you, Dad. I hate you, Dad. She didn't have those thoughts. How did that happen?
We're so pure.
Correct. How did that happen?
Learning.
So when my daughter, who is very emotional and she's a fighter, when she comes to me with certain things or with certain tone or whatever the case is, what's my reaction to her that allow her to talk back? Can you talk back to this wall here?
No.
Correct. Why? Because this wall is not talking back to you. Because a lot of times when she was younger, she was sick. She said, Dad, stop ignoring me. I said, I spoke to you about last week. I'm not going to ignore you. But once you get into that tone, I have nothing to say to you. When you finish that tone or you finish your emotional, then you can come speak with me.
Interesting.
You set boundaries.
Yes.
But guess what? Back to where we talk about, if you still have those layers, it's tough because you're like, you said, I'm the
if I
parent
walk
here.
away, I'm thinking that I'm losing the fight.
Correct.
I'm the adult here.
Right.
I can't walk away from this fight. Damn, I'm the boss here. So I'm the mom, I'm the dad. Because I was taught that way that you don't walk away from it. They listen. So when I speak, but they're going, so if I'm going back and forth with my son or daughter, you're saying that they want that. They're winning the fight, not me. I'm
They are.
losing and they're winning.
They're winning every single time.
I sometimes have now decided that mommy needs a timeout.
Yeah.
That I will walk away. I need space for a few minutes. I just need to go breathe. Because I know in the moment sometimes it's a reaction. And sometimes it's not the best way that I want to come forward.
As long as you caught yourself.
Right?
Yes,
So
yes.
I'm trying. I'm not good at it at
Of
all.
course, yeah.
I try and fall 90% of the time, but I'm you know, it's just one of those keep practicing things that
That's it.
you get better and better.
Yes.
It's interesting. One point early, I don't remember what year, but my wife, when I start embarking on these strategies, my wife said to me, "You're getting soft. Are you the father or you're the child?" And I was smiling in my mind because I know what that meant. It was a shift in my approach that it was triggering her. Yeah, because she didn't make that shift yet.
Yeah.
It was triggering her. For me, I was embracing that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, don't worry, I got you.
Wow.
You know, the screen time question needs to be answered because
Yes.
I find a lot of parents dealing with that right now. And if I'm the parent who's saying no to it, then I'm either guilt-ridden or I'm the bad parent.
Why?
Right? Because, no, not for me.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I'm a great parent. I have my rules. It's my home, my house, my rules.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
But when they go outside and then they come back, well, so and so gets to do it, so and so, and it's not that you want to get sucked into that, because I'm always like, well, I'm not so and so's parent. That's not
Correct.
my
Yeah.
job is not to raise them. My job is to raise you. However, sometimes you do want to understand from their perspective too, because yes, when everyone around them is living a certain way and you're like the lonely soldier or the only island, you don't want them to feel like they're alone either.
Why not? No, you get what I'm saying? Why not? Like, for example, like all I deal with that is, first of all,
That reminds me of when we were kids and we would say, why, mom? Or why not? Or the why, when kept asking the why
Yeah.
question. No, I
Like-
want an answer.
my kids alone not doing certain things or doing certain things, that shouldn't, it shouldn't play effect on how you deal with them. And, my kids are in the same boat where they're the only one in many categories. They're the only one. And they get used to it by now. It's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It's just that they're the only one. So when it comes to screen time, first of all, why do they have phones and gadget at such an age? Like, first of all, we have to ask ourselves why. A lot of parents said to me, well, he's going to high school now, she's going to high school now. I need to contact with them. Like, really? The school has a phone.
It definitely does.
And I usually tell my son, your friends have phones. Use their phones. So that's first thing first. So they don't need it.
Yes.
They don't need it. Just so you guys know, last year, was it last year? Last year, the entire summer, they didn't have 1 minute of device time.
Wow.
Amazing.
And my son was 16 and she was 13.
Amazing.
Wow. That's honestly this
Not even 1 minute. Now she hasn't had a phone for about a year now. Yeah.
habits, building the right
It's
habits.
normal for her.
And then it's funny because you're talking about cost. There's some families who are struggling to get along, but they have the cell phone plans they're paying for. And then so you're looking at like, so then these are the
Priorities.
conversation that we need to have,
Yeah.
that we are conforming to society and what the world says we have to
That's
have.
gonna be my next point.
We're not
Yep.
setting boundaries. We have
I
a
think
few
we have
minutes
to have a
go,
part two.
But definitely part two, because I would love to have my son here on this set and have your son on this set. And we should talk, because there's so much as a father that I am trying to navigate
That'd be a
through.
great conversation.
I think so too, with their perspective.
No one showed me a model home of how to be a father. I'm trying to navigate this thing through based on the model that I experienced from my parents or what I see around me,
Yeah.
right? And these kids are saying, I want to be treated differently, right? And how do I listen to my son when I'm not taught to listen to a child?
But Everton,
Wow.
what I love that we are creating right now, that we always say life doesn't come with a manual, relationships don't come with a manual. But here we are, what we're doing is what we're trying to create.
Correct.
Some manuals
Yes.
for our
A
children to
script.
follow.
Yeah.
Here, some
Yeah.
tools, some ideas.
And an experience can take from
And-
these manuals
yeah.
and imply.
Correct.
Before we end, you mentioned boundary. How do you set boundary for your kids, but also being there, they can come to you, talk to you about things? So not to be their friend, but to set boundary, but have a balance. How do you do that, both?
Well, first you got to look at your family values. Because, for example, my son will call me bro. That's not a big deal for me. For others,
Same here.
it would
Not
be
me
like,
either.
no,
Not me
you don't do that. Right?
Yeah.
So that's first thing first. So relationship. So boundaries, you have to get them involved to help set that boundary. Yes, it's a boundary around them, but it's around you too. So get them involved when it comes to boundaries. So you start with your family values. What are the 6 things you value? What are the 5 things you value as a family? And then you have a meeting around that. You have a sit down around that. And it doesn't have to be one meeting or one sit down. It's going to be a consistent
course.
sitting down, because now
Yeah.
this conversation is new to them.
Yeah. I'm sure a check-in every so often.
Correct.
Because ages and stages.
Exactly. So that boundaries is not, you just say, okay, it's an ongoing conversation. So when I work with parents, I go through their family values because it's different from, I can give you my blueprint, but it's not going to be the same. Right? But because, everyone is just different. So when it comes to boundaries, it's an ongoing thing. But there is
In 5
a
seconds,
template.
how can they reach you? Parents want to reach you to get more from you. How can they do that?
I live on Instagram right now, so you can find me on Coach Oliver Levy on Instagram. That's where you're gonna get all the gems.
Amazing.
All the gems.
Amazing. I'm so sorry we're out of time.
All the time, but thanks for coming over, Coach Oliver. This
Yeah.
conversation was phenomenal. We need to have part 2 of this conversation.
I don't know. That 30 minutes went by like in a flash.
I
think it has to be a series.
Series
Because there's so many topics to
there
cover
is.
here.
No, so
Yeah.
much.
Sure.
As parents, we can learn so much. Again, everyone, thanks for joining in. Great to have you on tonight. Level Up. We look forward to a next episode with Coach Oliver Levy. Thanks again for coming in. Pam, any last words?
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you caught some of the tools, some of the ideas that you can implement in your family.
Awesome. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.